a very, very nice day in November 3rd. Our next session, we've got Beta harnessed up with his dog collars on the harness so that we can possibly get the cart shafts into the dog collars and he can feel the weight of the shafts on his harness, on his back, on the side. And we may have a third person to help us today. Yes, he's coming out. So for now, before you put the halter back on, let's pull the metal shaft cart out over here where it can't run into, if there's a concerned alpaca, they can't run into the carts because they get spooked about something. We're gonna put it wherever you think we're safe to deal with a spooking alpaca. Looks good. Maybe push the wooden shaft cart back towards the fence, out of our way. Remember, we were able to get Beta to back into those wooden shafts easily. I had a little more trouble with the metal shafts that were green on green grass. But let's move it out to where you would feel safe. If Michael, who's going to be our third helper today, is able to put those shafts in the dog collars that are going to hold the shafts. It's almost like a spring day. It's a little afternoon, very warm, but we've got big rains coming in on Wednesday, so we're planning another session tomorrow before the rains come in. And the goat boys are watching. One of these days, we'll start the Urban Goat Girl show with them. Okay, here comes Beta. He's resisting a little bit, but Tavis knows how to deal with that. See if you can back him in. At least the wheels are not on a hill. And I've got my clicker today. We'll be clicking if he gives us the right answer. So he's going to head in. See, does Beta even know that the shafts are there? Now he does. And he's saying, wait a minute, what is that? But he didn't swing his hips way over. And Tavis is pulling him into the shafts, and he feels the shafts on his thighs, his hips. He's being good. I'm going to give him a click. One step at a time, repetition, repetition, repetition. Now, do you think you can back him in? I'm going to stand over here in the shade. The sun is pretty warm for a November 3rd day in 2025. Is it boring to watch the same thing over and over and over again? Well, not if you know that it takes repetition to reach your teaching learning objective. We don't just show you when we've got it, we show you what it took us to get there. Good idea. Good. Yeah, see if he'll follow you. Yeah, he's looking at it. He's saying, what is that thing? Even though we've done many a lesson with it. Good. This is good learning. Sub-objectives. Of course, eventually we want to hitch them to the carts and go on the rancho's trails here. 20 lineal miles of trails around my property and all the other properties in the ranchos where no motor vehicles are allowed. Good idea. That's a good sub-objective. Prerequisite skill. And I've been watching for little wheeled vehicles for the goat boys to be able to pull. These carts that I have here, and I have one more at the main residence of the sanctuary on my 20-acre ranch, were for horses and mini cows. But because of the size of alpacas, I think they can easily pull a cart of this size and weight. I'm almost ready to click, but he did step out. It's okay. He doesn't really understand what the ultimate objective is. Not yet. He will. Yeah, see, careful, you've got a sprinkler there. See if you can go around the tree. We haven't done this with Alpha yet either, but I'm pretty sure he won't be concerned. Okay, I don't want him to show that stress in his body. We're just going to have to do it enough times so he'll say, oh, okay, I know what we're doing. I'm not scared. Now let's try to back him in again. And I'd recommend that you say the word back. And if you're just trying to walk them in from the front, say the word walk. They can learn words. I could go and maybe get that arm extension and keep him from swinging his hips over here. But it's a little tricky to film the show and also participate in the training. The boys were having a really good time out in the pasture all morning long. Well, he doesn't seem to mind heading in, walking in. Alpha's behind you watching. See if you can bend down and pick up the shafts. See if he minds. A little bit, he stepped one step back. And he's telling Alpha, move away, I'm in school. At least we know where we're headed. And if our third person doesn't show up today, maybe we can get him to show up tomorrow. We're going through our corridor, or at least up to it. Maybe he's going to back him up the corridor. That might be a good idea. We call it our training corridor. I set it up so we'd have a place to go forward and backward where that does have side perimeter devices. Good. If you think this is boring, I'm okay on that, because what I'm going to say so far, for what we've asked Beta to do, he's getting a B plus A minus. He's doing fine. See, he could be swinging his hips over, but he's not so far. With repetition, with routine, he'll understand what his job is. Almost, almost. Now we do want him to swing his hips over to the left so that he can back into the green shafts. Nope, he doesn't understand. He's resisting. He's resisting only because he doesn't know what the right answer is yet. See, my ultimate objective for lesson today and tomorrow is to get those shafts into his dog collars from the back and have him feel the weight of the shafts on his back and side. He sees them. He sees the calves. We might even do this with Alpha tomorrow, even if it's just the two of us, Tavis, because I'm pretty sure Alpha will back in for us. Good idea. Well, that's progress. He did okay until the last few seconds. Then he said, I'm out of here. I'm wondering, if I walk over there and you just stand there, can I bring the shafts up behind him without messing up the filming? Because when we do eventually harness them up to go for cart rides, we might just be standing here and bring the cart right up to them, rather than having them back into the shafts. Back, back. Almost there, oh, almost. Okay, stop. Oh, no, he didn't stop. I would have said, let's grab our moment of resolution, but you see, he's resisting. But we don't want to stop on a bad note. We want to accomplish a sub-objective and say, okay, that's our moment of resolution. And I'm sorry our third person didn't show up today. Maybe we'll have somebody tomorrow about this time of the day. That gives them half the day out in the pasture before the lesson, and then the other half of the day after the lesson before the wind and the rain comes in the next day. Yeah, if you can just stand there, even if he's not all the way in, will he stand there? Will he be patient? I'm happy with that. If you want to call that our moment of resolution, looks like you are too. Try to walk him out straight. Okay. He didn't quite walk out straight, but he didn't trip over the shafts either. We'll leave the cart right where it is. We'll resume with our next lesson tomorrow with either Beta or Alpha. We'll see who's helping us tomorrow. We'll upload the show. Subscribe and you'll find out when the shows are uploaded. Make comments at the shows. Email me, the Urban Alpaca Girl, sonyasokolow@gmail.com with comments or questions. SONYASOKOLOW@gmail.com. Taking the harness off. Seems to be okay on it. Yeah. Remember, we used to have trouble with Beta even just getting the halter on and off. Who would have thought that we're going to have rain in 2 days, but it's definitely predicted. Okay, and he's munching on the grasses. He's okay, he's not stressed. He gets a B+ for today's lesson. And now we're going to open all the gates. We'll leave this cart here. We'll try to get somebody scheduled for tomorrow at noon to help us as a third person. If not, we'll continue to make progress one way or another. I'm very, very proud of Alpha and Beta. And Brownie and Blackie always like to come to our lessons, and they will someday be the object of our lessons. No rush. We just want to know we're going to get there, and we want to know where we want to be. And I always try to let you know that. Remember, I am a credentialed math teacher in California. I had excellent professors at UCLA. If there's anything important about knowing how to teach, I learned it. Goodbye for now.